Good morning. I'd like to address this message to Secretary General of the United Nations. I think everybody agrees that around the world, unanimously, we all have this very sad look at how bad the situation has gotten in the Middle East and this Palestinian-Israeli conflict. I would like to offer my very modest contribution to this complicated situation, which I hope can soon unfold in a pretty decent way for everybody. So what I think would be very most appropriate to do as of a short-term action is probably we should all think that peace must prevail, and I think that most of the political leaders are, as we speak, trying to work something around that. Nevertheless, what I'm trying to come up with here is what I think could be a pretty appropriate solution. I think that we must come up with a situation that must be a win-win for everybody. We can't afford to see more blood. We can't afford to witness this carnage going on. And it's just unacceptable that this is happening and taking place in 2023, in a time when we're talking about going to Mars, in a time we're talking about incredible achievement in science and so on. Humanity shouldn't be experiencing what it's currently experiencing, and I'm very, very saddened. As much as hundreds of millions of people around the world, I think, share my opinion. So, Mr. General Secretary, I think that the possible solution right now is to focus on rehousing the victims in Palestine, specifically in Gaza. There are millions of people around that area who are expecting probably the situation to escalate, and nobody wants that. I think that the only country that can really do something right now that could contribute to the peace for all parties, it's definitely, in my mind, China. We all know that China has so far remained silent, and we all understand why. But you see, the only country in the world today that has the capacity and technical knowledge and any kind of resources to be able to build fast in record is definitely China. They're capable of building multi-story buildings in literally days' time. And I think that instead of calling for a ceasefire, which I completely accept and agree with you and salute, and I think it goes to your honor as the #1 person of the United Nations, I totally agree with you. However, I think that action speaks louder than words, and I think that China must come into the equation right now. And I think that would probably be a great thing to suggest, is that the BRICS countries like China and Russia, India, and so on, especially Saudi, and God knows that Saudi is a major player in the region, is the region's most powerful country in any possible terms. And I think that definitely these countries need to come together and come up with a plan. China can bring its know-how, because today, in order to avoid a humanitarian disaster when it comes to we should think about all the possible disease that is going to be spreading in that area. As we speak, there are hundreds of thousands of innocents in Gaza that have no roof over their heads. Now, we could all stipulate this and that, but the fact is that right now, as we speak, those people need to be rehoused. They need a roof over their head, on the top of their heads, over their heads, and I think that China is the only country that can do it. Russia can probably participate as a BRIC country, Um, um, and also, I think that Saudi has the capacity, and I'm also seizing this opportunity, I'm taking this chance right here to call on the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman to intervene, because I think that it is all beneficial for Saudi as well to back up China financially, and play their role, therefore, to be able to bring this technical solution that could immediately give the possibility to those hundreds of thousands of families in Gaza to be having houses again. China has the capacity to rebuild the whole region in probably 2-3 months' time. No other country in the world, with all due respect, no other country in the world has the capacity to do that. Now, myself as an Algerian citizen, I am very, very disappointed at the attitude of the authorities of my country, because Algeria failed, unfortunately, entering the BRICS. But most sadly, the Algerian authorities have decided to step away from the BRICS, and I think that's a strategical mistake, because I totally and completely think, and I'm fully convinced, that the BRICS countries are the ones that can bring the peace in that region. For political reasons, for economical reasons, for diplomatical reasons, for many reasons, cultural reasons, for many reasons. And I think that Saudi has all to win from this, along with Israel as well, because if Saudi backs up China to convince them, along with the United Nations and all the other countries, such as America, such as the United Kingdom, France, etc., to back up, and this project that I'm modestly suggesting here, to rebuild Gaza in order to rehouse those people and give them the hope to a restart. This can, at the same time, probably allow Israel and Saudi to resume their talks in order for them to reach normalization. But that's their problem. But I think that any solution that could be a parallel solution to whatever is being conducted right now by all those countries could definitely be most welcome. So, Mr. General Secretary, to wrap this up, I think what would really be great is that you could try to put on the table around yourself China, Russia, India, and the Western countries, and agree with China that China can bring its know-how and rebuild the region with the help of other countries, and rehouse those people in Gaza. And this will put Israel in a situation where they could resume their talk with Saudi. Therefore, they could reach whatever they want to reach. And again, it's their problem, for which I don't want to get involved, because it's not something that I'm interested in. Unfortunately, being an observer from outside, I'm not talking only about myself, but I'm talking about the Arab countries that are more or less powerless as we speak, in few aspects. But the Arab countries and the Muslim countries also have the capacity to probably consider this option, to work around a technical solution along with China, to bring the Chinese human resources, technical resources, and financial resources as well. And on the other hand, China can also benefit something out of this. But it is very important that the European people must understand that if this crisis keeps going on and escalates, which obviously nobody wants, then it's going to have a very negative impact on Europe, because you see, the European equilibrium is based on $80 to $85 a barrel when it comes to the cost of oil. This conflict, if it does escalate, everybody's going to come into the equation. Hezbollah this, Iran that, especially the recent declaration by Iran are anything but reassuring, as saying that Israel should pay for this or should pay for that. I don't think that threatening anybody today is a solution, and I don't think that was a political finesse from Iran. I think it is time to extinguish the fire and not to create more provocation. I strongly believe that European would be very badly impacted, because the winter is coming. And if the conflict stays on and gets worse, then at the end of the day, the price of the oil is going to rocket. And if that happens, well, then I recommend to the European to start buying fuel and wood to try to warm themselves for the winter that is coming. So I don't think that the European are benefiting anything from this conflict to continue. And that's another fact. So I think that it's time to act. You guys are the ones who have the power to make it happen. And I think that when men unite, a lot of things can be done. Nothing is more beautiful than the union of men. And it is still possible to have a union between men and make the appropriate decision so everybody benefits from it. We don't need any more carnage. And I think that Israeli people don't want more carnage than that, because the longer this takes, I think the Israeli Prime Minister obviously is making massive political mistakes, thinking that bombarding Gaza and bombarding Palestine is a solution for him, because probably he wants to please his people. But I think he's smart enough to know that if this escalates, the Israeli army is potentially going to be shredded by others. They're not that powerful, but I don't want to get into that. What I'm trying to say, that nobody wants this to escalate, and everybody wants peace in the region, and I think that will benefit everybody. And again, I'm very disappointed that the Algerian authorities did not come up with anything appropriate. Yes, it is good to try to offer any kind of supplies, but as we speak, supplies cannot reach the country. But I really think that strong decisions need to be made, and I think that we should all focus. You guys should all focus right now on rebuilding Gaza fast. And again, I don't think anybody can tell me the contrary. Nobody on earth can build faster than Chinese, and I think that China really needs to come into the equation right now. It's a major player, it's a powerful nation, it's a powerful political position, diplomatical position, economical position. I think China has the right key right now to be the major player that can start a very concrete process that leads to a peace, to a handshake that everybody wants to see. So I hope this message will go through and will reach all of you, and I'm very confident that we have the power to make tomorrow definitely better than today. So yeah, please try to make it happen, and I'm very confident that you guys can do it. Thank you very much.